Hello, Tony.
Hello, darling.
You told me you weren't coming tonight.
I wasn't. I had to work awfully late at the office. I'm on my way to meet Mother and Father at the theater. But I simply couldn't pass your house without dropping in for a minute.
I was just going to turn in for a good night's sleep.
Why, it isn't 8 o'clock yet.
I know. But just think what time it was this morning when you let me go to bed.
Darling, I have a present for you. Allow me to present Miss Columbine. Like her?
Thanks, Tony.
Aren't you glad to see me?
Of course. But I wasn't prepared. 5 minutes later, and I would have had cold cream on my face.
As if I'd care. Well, you're not angry with me, are you?
Angry?
Yes, at running in like this.
Don't be silly. But
what?
But you do get such funny ideas.
Darling, I want you to marry me. You must marry me.
Don't be so absurd, Tony. Why, you know your father.
I'll win Dad over. All that matters in the world is our love for each other. If only you knew how unhappy I am when I'm from you.
Hello? Who is this? Oh. Certainly not. Not a penny. Not a penny, I tell you. Well, it won't get you anywhere. I absolutely refuse to see you. No. No, he's not. Impudence.
Who's that?
Just a beastly tradesman trying to collect a bill.
Oh, Father gave me a check this morning.
I don't want it.
Oh, please now. Send it for £25. I want you to have it. There, it's made out to cash. I don't need to endorse it. Here.
Very well.
Oh, darling. Darling, I do want you so terribly for my wife. After all, when I come here with you, it's as though we were married, but... Someone in the bedroom.
No, Tony.
But there is.
Tony.
Now stay there, sweetheart. I'll see.
Tony!
Who are you? What are you doing with that purse?
Pardon me, I thought this was my flat.
Your flat? You're drunk.
Unfortunately, no such luck.
Who are you?
My name is Carl Blake. If that conveys anything to you.
Nora, do you know this man?
Not the man. Tony, wait. What are you going to do?
I'm going to telephone the police.
Don't do that. Don't bring the police into this.
Why not?
Put that phone down.
Nora, you know something about this man. Who is he?
The answer is obvious. Mr. Anthony Howard?
How do you know my name?
Shut up.
Well, my dear, you can hardly blame me. Why, you told me just now on the phone that Mr. Howard wasn't going to be here.
Nora, you do know him.
Yes. He's my husband. Now, are you satisfied?
Yes. Gentlemen can't object to me visiting my wife.
How would you like to go to...
Anywhere with you, my dear.
And I've been fooled.
You most decidedly have.
Get out.
After all, this is my wife.
And this is my flat. Get out!
Well. All right. As you ask me so politely, of course I'll leave. Good night, darling. Good night, Miss Howard. I must confess, I don't like to leave you two together. But I have a most remarkable nature. Good night.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Now listen. This had to happen sometime, and it might as well be now. Personally, I'm fed up. Fed up with you. Fed up with your rotten little check. Yes, that's what I think of them.
All these months you've been lying to me.
Well, turn it off. Yes, I mean it. At first I thought you were just like the others, in wanting one thing, and would pay what you could for it. And then when I realized that you wanted to marry me, I could have screamed with laughter. Me marrying you, you poor little fool.
And I've loved you.
Oh, cut it out. Do you think I like being mauled about by you?
Mauled about?
Yes, and it wasn't worth it, my boy.
Every bit of love I had for you is gone.
Love? Is that what you call it?
I hate you as much as I love you. I do. I feel as if I could kill you.
Kill me? You haven't even got the nerve.
I haven't.
No, you couldn't kill any more than you could love.
Couldn't I?
No. Let go. You're hurting me.
I don't care. I want to hurt you.
Let go.
I like hurting you.
I can't breathe.
Can't breathe, eh? That's funny. Do you realize I've only got to keep my hands like that a little longer, and I've done it. You see, I've only got to keep my fingers tight like that just a few moments longer. What did you say? I haven't got the nerve. I couldn't kill you any more than I could love. I could have killed you, and that's what you realize that. Nora, get up. I don't think I knew what I was doing. Nora.
Hello, Tony.
Oh, hello, Sylvia. Won't you come in?
I know it's late, but I just had to stop a moment. Where are your people?
Well, they went to the theater, I think. Let me help you.
Thank you. I've just received a nice letter from Dad, from Calcutta. I thought you and your father might like to read it.
Ah, thanks.
Tony, is there anything the matter?
No, nothing.
You seem sort of upset.
Oh, no, really. Have a cigarette.
No, thanks. Tony, I particularly wanted to see you tonight. Please tell me what has happened to make you hate me so.
Hate you? Don't be silly, Sylvia.
I'm not silly, my dear. Only hurt. You've completely cut me out for the last 6 months.
Sylvia, I'm sorry. I'm awfully sorry. I haven't meant to hurt you. I've been a beast. I'm no good. I just want you to forgive and forget me. Do you understand? Just forget me.
Tony, dear, what is the trouble?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
Tony, your parents, pull yourself together.
Sylvia, darling.
Hello, Lady Howard.
Hello, Tony, dear. Did you forget about tonight?
No, Mother. I'm sorry. I couldn't get to the theater.
Oh. Been here long?
Oh, no, just a few minutes. Good evening, sir.
Sylvia, dear, how are you?
Splendid, thank you.
That's right. Well, young man, I hope you realize you spoiled your mother's entire evening.
I'm sorry, Dad.
You know how nervous she always is about you. She thought you met with some accident or other.
Well, Austin, as long as he's safe, it really doesn't matter.
Oh, I suppose not, dear.
Only it's a pity you missed the play, Tony.
Yes, it was a darn good play. What became of you tonight, Tony?
Oh, well, I dropped down to the Automobile Club to...
route for our tour to Scotland next week?
Yes.
Good, good. By Jove, I'm looking forward to that tour. We'll take Sylvia with us. Have a grand time. Did you get any information about the road conditions, Tony?
Well, no, I'm sorry. I couldn't get that, Dad.
Couldn't get it? Why not?
Well, I sort of felt faint at the club and I went to lie down.
You've been coming home pretty late these nights, young man. I've heard you sneak in.
Sorry, Dad. Mother, do you mind if I go to bed now?
Of course not, dear.
Good night, dear.
Tony, you're not ill.
No, Mother. I'm a bit tired. Good night, Dad.
Just a second, Tony. Anything wrong, old boy?
No, I...
Come on, what is it? Tell me, what is it, huh?
Don't answer that. It's the police. They want me.
Police? Want you what for?
I killed someone.
Killed? Whom?
A girl.
Killed a girl?
I didn't mean to.
What girl?
You don't know her.
What's her name?
Nora Selma.
What do you mean you killed Nora Selma?
I tell you, I didn't mean to. I didn't know what I was doing.
How? How did you kill her?
With my hands, I choked her.
Oh. What time was this?
About 8 o'clock.
What had she done to you, boy?
I was frantic. I tell you, I didn't know what I was doing. I was out of my mind, I suppose.
It can't be true. It can't be true.
Come. Drink this. Now try to remember, Tony. Did anyone see you leave the flat?
I don't think so.
No policeman?
No, I didn't notice. I just ran.
Now did you close the door of the flat when you left?
I think so.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I remember I closed it after me.
What time did you get here?
Just before Sylvia called.
Did any of the servants see you come in?
No, they'd gone to bed.
I'm so afraid. What can we do?
Yes, now wait, darling.
We must get him away.
Yes, wait now. If no one saw him enter or leave the flat, there is a chance.
But he killed her. He can't run away.
I'm not going to run away. I'm not going to. I'm going to give myself up.
Come on to that. You do as I tell you. Sit down now. You think we're going to let you be hanged because of this fit of madness of yours?
I know, but...
Your mother and I are responsible for this. We petted and pampered you all your life. I knew for some time that something of this sort had been going on. And I had tried in a measure to check it, but... Seems I was too late.
Father,
now
you
have to do as
must...
I tell you, sir. Now, all of you doing exactly as I tell you. Now, Mary, go upstairs to bed. Tony and Sylvia, go upstairs to the library.
Yes, sir, Austin.
No, Father.
Now, do as I tell you, sir. Now remember, Tony, you were with us at the theatre tonight. Do you understand that, Mary? Tony was with us at the Princess Theatre.
Yes.
Oh, Tony, the ticket. The theatre ticket I gave you this morning. All right. Now upstairs. All of you. All of you.
Are you Sir Austin Howard?
Why, yes.
I'm Inspector Robbins of Scotland Yard. I want to see you.
Oh, yes, Inspector. Won't you come in?
Thanks.
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, but the servants have gone to bed.
Sir Austin, I'm making inquiries with regard to a very serious matter.
Oh, yes, Inspector. Sit down.
Thanks.
May I have a drink?
No thanks. Is that your wallet?
Yes.
When did you last have this wallet in your possession?
Well, I haven't seen that wallet now for over 2 months.
Haven't seen it? Why?
Oh, because well, for the obvious reason that I lost it.
You mean you lost this wallet over 2 months ago?
Yes. But, sure you want to have a whiskey and soda?
No thanks, I don't drink.
Well, forgive me if I have one, will you?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Inspector, I assume you haven't come all this way at this time of night merely to return a lost pocketbook.
Quite correct, Sir Austin. A murder was committed tonight in a flat in Bloomsbury.
Murder?
And this wallet was found near the body.
My wallet was found near... Look here, Inspector, are you suggesting...
I'm suggesting nothing, Sir Austin. But I must warn you that anything you may say may be used in evidence.
I may say. You were warning me?
Yes.
Oh, now, come. I think you'd better have a drink.
No thanks. Are you willing to answer a few questions? Or must I ask you to come with me to Scotland Yard?
Oh, this is preposterous, of course, but... What is it you want to know? Oh, will you have a cigarette?
No thanks, I don't smoke. Is this a piece of check drawn by you?
Yes, that's my signature.
Now, this check was found in the...
Oh, of course, I remember now, yes. That check was in my wallet when I lost it 2 months ago.
Are you sure of that?
Well, I think so.
You only think so?
No, I'm quite sure. Quite sure.
Sir Austin, where have you been tonight?
To the theatre.
What theatre?
The Princess Theatre. What is this, Inspector, a joke?
I'm afraid not. Will you tell me who was with you at the theatre?
My wife and my son.
Where is your wife now?
Lady Howe is retired.
I see. But I should like to have a word with your wife and son here.
Now look here, Inspector. I refuse to have my family intimidated.
The alternative, Sir Austin, would be for you all to go with me to Scotland Yard.
Oh. Very well, I'll get Lady Howard.
I'd rather you call her from the door if you don't mind.
Well, oh. All right. Mary! Would you come downstairs a moment, please?
Of course, dear.
And your son?
My son? Oh, of course.
No, wait. I'll see him later if necessary. Alone.
Oh, Mary. This is Inspector Robbins from Scotland Yard. He refuses to believe...
There's no need to tell your wife what to say, Sir Austin.
I have no intention of telling her what to say.
Well, then leave the talking to me, please.
Oh.
All right. Lady Howard, I must apologize for getting you from your bedroom.
Oh, that's quite all right.
I want you to answer one or two questions.
Yes?
Where have you been tonight?
To the theatre.
What theatre?
I've already told him, dear, that 3 of us...
Please.
Wait.
Well, Lady Howard,
The Princess Theatre.
will you tell me who was with you at the theatre?
My husband and Tony.
Tony? Who's Tony?
My son. But Austin, I don't understand.
Well, now, darling, this is all because the pocketbook of mine was lost about 2 months ago. You remember? Was found by someone connected with a murder.
Murder?
The police are trying to associate me with murdering a woman.
How did you know it was a woman, Sir Austin?
Well, that's what I understood you to say.
I didn't use the word woman.
Oh, really? Well, I suppose one jumps at conclusions.
Sir Austin Howard, I must place you under arrest.
Arrest? On what ground?
On suspicion of being the murderer of a woman by the name of Nora Selma.
Ridiculous. I never heard of such a...
Austin, it's not true.
Of course it isn't, sweetheart. Of course it isn't.
Father.
Oh, Tony!
Father,
I'm going down to Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard?
Yes, they want to ask me a few questions about the murder of some poor woman in Bloomsbury tonight. I don't know what it all means.
Yes, but Father,
there's nothing to get excited about. It's all perfectly ridiculous. You understand?
I know, but
And
Father,
they can't accuse me of this murder any more than they could you.
Mother, I'm going with him.
No. You'll stay here with your mother.
Father, I
now,
can't.
Tony, fetch my pipe. There's a good boy. Goodbye, sweetheart.
Come along, Sir Austin.
All right, Inspector, all right.
Oh, Austin, this is
No,
terrible.
darling, don't worry. I shan't be long. We'll soon clear up this comic business. Thank you, dear, would you? I know Colonel Grayson and all of them down in Scotland Yard, and they'll laugh at this thing. Oh, thanks, old boy. Thank you, Mary. Oh, Inspector, did you ever try this mixture? It's Craven with an extra Oh, my word, I forgot you don't smoke. And you don't drink. Dear, what do you do?
And you are positive that this man, the prisoner in the dock, is the same man that you saw at the flat of Nora Selma?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Your Lordship, and members of the jury. My learned friend, the counsel for the prosecution, has set out to prove many things, and has, in fact, proved many things. Members of the jury, you may be satisfied that he has proved that the prisoner was acquainted with Nora Selma, the dead woman. In fact, as his counsel, I admit it, though deeply respected and admired in the community, the prisoner was apparently providing for this poor, unfortunate creature who, with her husband, served some time in prison. But I submit that the prosecution has not proved the one vital and all-important point, that the prisoner was at the dead woman's flat on the night of the murder. The police doctor stated very definitely that the woman had been dead about 1 hour. We can therefore assume that Nora Selma met her death between 8 and 9:20 p.m. Where was the prisoner between the hours of 8 and 9:20 on that particular night? Members of the jury, I am going to prove an absolute alibi. I am going to prove that the prisoner went by taxi with his wife to a certain theatre on the night of April the 8th and was there met by his son, Paul Henry Hammer.
Henry Hammer. Henry Hammer.
Do you swear by Almighty God?
I swear by Almighty God, the evidence I shall give this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Kiss the book.
Is your name Henry Hammer?
Yes, sir. Henry Hammer.
Speak up, my man.
Yes, sir. Henry Hammer.
Are you a taxi driver?
One of the best.
Were you stationary on a rank at Finchley on the night of April the 8th?
Was I what?
Was your cab standing on the rank at Finchley on the night of April the 8th?
Yes, sir.
Did you, the result of a conversation over the telephone, go to 118 Hendon Lane at about 7:15 on that particular night?
No, sir.
Speak up, please.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Did you pick up a fare at 118 Hendon Lane in the night in question?
Yes, sir.
Was it about 7:15?
Yes, sir.
Well, why did you say no when I put the two questions to you in one?
Because you said I held conversation on the phone.
Well, didn't you get the call by telephone?
No, sir.
Well, how then did you know a taxi was wanted?
Because there's a bloke in the shelter what answers the telephone and he tipped me off that a taxi had been phoned for.
I see. You were very precise, Mr. Hammer.
Yes, sir.
How many people did you pick up?
2.
Were they a lady and a gentleman?
Yes, sir. I suppose so.
Could you identify the gentleman if you saw him?
Yes, sir.
How?
How do you mean, how?
Well, I mean, how do you think you can remember what he looks like after 3 months?
Because he was the living spit of my brother Herbert.
I see. Well, can you point him out in court now?
Yes, sir.
Blimey.
If he don't look 20 years older since I last seen him.
Well, Mr. Hammer, having picked up your fare, I think that is the precise term.
That's quite correct, sir.
Where did you take them?
To the Princess's Theatre.
And what time did you arrive at the Princess Theatre?
I can't say.
Well, about what time?
Well, before 8 for sure.
Why do you say for sure?
Because I picked up another fare a few minutes afterwards who said he had an appointment at the Cock Tavern with a lady at 8 o'clock.
Well, in that case, you must have arrived at the Princess Theatre shortly after 7:45.
Why?
Well, my good man, if you will only...
All right, Sir John. You needn't elucidate any further.
As your lordship please. Mr. Hammer. Mr. Hammer!
Kindly answer counsel's questions.
Yes, sir.
And don't stare at me.
Thanks, sir.
You took the prisoner to the Princess Theatre and dropped him there at 7:45 on the night of April the 8th.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
One moment, please.
Mr. Hammer, when you pointed out the prisoner as being the living spit, I think that is the term you used, of your brother...
Herbert.
Herbert. Thank you. You said, here are your exact words, but blimey...
Did I say that, sir?
You did.
Good blimey.
But blimey if you don't look 20 years older.
Yes, sir.
Well, might you not have said 25?
I might, but I ain't.
You ain't? Ain't what?
I ain't gonna say 25.
Mr. Hammer, how old was your brother Herbert when he impressed this vivid picture on your mind?
I don't know what you mean.
Is your brother Herbert dead?
Quite.
What do you mean, quite?
He means, Mr. Drinton, that his brother is quite dead.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you. How old was your brother Herbert when he died?
Well, we don't know rightly. You see, before my mother got married.
Yes. But how old was he presumed to be?
35, roughly.
Now, Mr. Hammer, if I were to suggest to you that the man that you drove to the Princess Theatre was not the prisoner...
What?
I mean, is it not possible that you have mistaken the father for the son?
Oh, shut up.
Silence in court! Silence in court!
Before laughter, if this witness is impertinent, I will clear the court. Kindly answer counsel's questions in a manner befitting the seriousness of the occasion.
Yes, sir.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I am, sir.
Now, Mr. Hammer, I want to be quite certain of the exact time that you left the prisoner at the Princess Theatre. Please tell me.
Oh, blimey, we got to go all through that again.
Answer counsel's question.
Yes. I left Finchley at 7:15.
And what time did you arrive at the Princess Theatre?
7:45.
Are you quite sure of the exact time?
Well, it might have been 10 to.
It might even have been 22.
It might.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One moment, please.
But, Mr. Hammer, you are quite positive that the prisoner is the man you deposited at the Princess Theatre on the night of April the 8th at 7:45.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
One moment, please. Stop playing with your hat. Have you seen the prisoner since that night?
No, sir.
Very well. You may go.
I want to call the prisoner now, my lord. Sir Austin Howard.
Very good, Sir John.
Good luck, sir.
Do you swear by Almighty God that the evidence you shall give the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Your name, Austin Howard.
Yes?
You live at 118 Hendon Lane, Finchley.
Yes.
Please hand Exhibit 3 to the witness. Sir Austin, is that your wallet?
Yes?
Did you tell the inspector at the time of your arrest that you'd lost the wallet 2 months previously?
Yes.
Was that statement true?
No.
Will you tell his lordship and members of the jury why you made that statement then?
Because I was afraid if I had admitted giving it to Nora Selmer, my wife might get to know of my association with her.
When did you give it to her?
About 6 months ago. It happened jokingly. There was some money in it. I'm afraid I've been drinking a little at the time.
Yes, go on.
I threw the wallet on the floor, saying something quite ridiculous about laying my heart and my wealth at her feet.
All right. Exhibit 4, please. You are holding part of a check. Is that your signature, Sir Austin?
Yes?
Did you tell the inspector that that check was in the wallet when you lost it?
Yes.
Was that true?
No.
Well, Sir Austin, why didn't you tell the truth then?
For the same reason that I withheld the facts about the wallet.
You mean that you didn't wish your wife to know of your association with Nora Selmer?
That is so.
Now, Sir Austin, will you tell us the truth about the check?
It was made out for £25, payable to cash. I sent it to her through the post the day before her death.
Exhibit 5, please. Is that your private visiting card?
Yes.
You heard that it had been found in the dead woman's flat on the night of the murder?
Yes?
How do you account for its presence there?
Well, I must have left it there on one of my visits.
Well, might it not have been in that wallet of yours when you gave it to her 6 months previously?
Very probably.
Well, couldn't you say for certain that it was?
I think it must have been.
All right. I finished with the visiting card. Now, Sir Austin, tell me, where were you between the hours of 8 and 11 o'clock on the night of April the 8th?
The Princess Theatre.
Who were you with?
My wife and my son.
Did you see the performance from beginning to end?
I did.
And you never left the theatre?
I did not.
And when you arrived home shortly before midnight, what did you do?
Well, I was about to retire when the officer from Scotland Yard arrived.
Thank you.
Sir Austin, there are 1 or 2 questions I would like to put to you.
Yes, my lord?
What kind of hat were you wearing on the night in question?
A light felt one.
Were you wearing an overcoat?
Yes, a grey one.
Do you realize, Sir Austin, that the hall porter of the block of flats in which Nora Selmer lived has described almost similar garments as being worn by the man he saw entering the house on the night of the murder?
My lord, I object.
I'm sorry, Sir John, but I'm here to see that justice is done.
Yes, I know, my lord, but with the deepest respect.
I don't wish to hear any more. You know your remedy.
I do, my lord, but the jury.
You need not say any more.
As your lordship pleases.
Now, Sir Austin, you have just admitted that you lied to Inspector Robbins so that Lady Howard would not learn of your association with Nora Selmer.
Yes?
Do you expect his lordship and the members of the jury to believe that you would lie to an inspector of Scotland Yard for so trivial a reason?
My married life was not trivial to me.
Your married life, and yet you were living with Nora Selmer.
My wife didn't know.
I suggest, Sir Austin, the reason you lied to the inspector was because you could not tell the truth.
No.
I suggest that had you told the truth, it would be merely an admission of guilt.
No.
I suggest that you're not telling the truth about that Bolton check now.
I am.
I suggest that the reason you gave Nora Selmer a check was not because you were not at her flat, but because you did not have the cash on you.
That's not true.
I'm suggesting that it is.
No.
Then why did you send a check that was left open for cash through the post?
I don't know.
The jury will form their own conclusion. Now, Sir Austin, where were you when, in a drunken stupor, you flung your wallet at the feet of Nora Selmer?
At her flat. 3 months before her death.
I suggest that it's nothing of the kind, but that in your agitation before or after you strangled the woman, you dropped the wallet where it was found by the police.
No. Because I was not in her flat on the night of her death.
The whole point of my case rests upon the fact that you were at her flat. You are in the prisoner's dock now because the police have proved that you were in her flat.
Lord, I object. Mr. Pigeon, your statement is not quite accurate. You should have said, are endeavouring to prove.
I stand corrected, my lord. Hand Exhibit 5 to witness. That is the visiting card found in her flat the night of the murder. You admit that it's yours.
Yes?
Where was it engraved?
Smithson's in Regent Street.
Now, Sir Austin, you've just heard their manager testify that 1,000 new visiting cards were delivered to you on April the 7th about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You admit that's true?
That is so.
Is that one of the new cards?
Well, it may be.
Why can't you say yes or no?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? You can't tell if it's one of the new visiting cards?
Well, I say it may be.
Is it? Is it?
Yes, it is.
And you did not possess that card until 4 o'clock, April the 7th?
No.
Did you visit Nora Selmer on April the 7th?
No.
And yet it has been proved that that card was found at her flat on the night of the murder. How can you explain that?
Well, I can't explain it.
You're not going to tell me that you flung that card at her feet 3 months before?
Well, obviously not.
Then you must have left it in her flat the night of the murder, mustn't you? Mustn't you?
Certainly not. You're talking nonsense.
Please don't answer counsel in that manner.
Why do my words strike you as nonsense, Sir Austin?
Because a murderer doesn't leave his card behind.
How do you know? Are you a murderer?
I am not.
Well, Sir Austin, since visiting cards cannot transport themselves, how did that one get into her flat?
Well, I told you before, I can't explain.
You must explain it.
Of course, how stupid of me. I remember now. I sent her some flowers at the same time as I posted her last check.
On the afternoon of April the 7th?
Yes.
What have flowers to do with that card?
I believe the gentlemen had been known to enclose their cards with flowers.
Oh. So you sent her flowers?
Yes.
Where did you buy them?
Oh, Covent Garden Market.
What time of the day did you buy those flowers?
About 5 in the afternoon.
Doesn't Covent Garden close at 4?
Well, it may have been earlier.
Earlier than 4?
Yes.
But you say you did not possess that card until 4.
Well, I can't remember the exact hour.
Do you realize, Sir Austin, that the question of life or death may sometimes hang upon the exactness of an hour?
You're all mad! Father, you see
Lord, my son is not well.
I'm sorry for you, but I think your son had better leave the court.
My lord, I'm being tried for my life. I beg of you to let my son remain.
Very well. He may stay if he can control his feelings and not interrupt the proceedings of the court.
Thank you, my lord.
Mr. Clinton, proceed.
You don't remember the exact hour? Well, Sir Austin, can you still remember the exact name of the theatre you went to on the night of the murder?
Yes, the Princess Theatre.
Now, Sir Austin, in regard to the 3 theatre tickets you used that night, can you still remember where you purchased them?
The Savoy Hotel.
Precisely. Here is their voucher indicating that you bought seats 10, 11, and 12 of row D. Is that correct?
That is so.
Offer it in evidence.
Exhibit 8.
Here is a clear plan showing the seating arrangement of the Princess Theatre. Sir Austin, will you kindly look at row D? Do you notice seats 10, 11, and 12?
Yes?
Which of those 3 seats did you occupy? Was it the aisle seat number 10?
No.
Who sat in number 10?
My wife.
Did you sit next to your wife?
No.
Then your son sat in number 11?
Yes.
In that case, you occupied number 12.
Well, I suppose so.
Why do you say I suppose so?
I can't remember the number.
But if your wife and son sat in 10 and 11, that leaves only 12 for you.
Yes.
I finish with... Now, Sir Austin, did you see an attendant mark off a plan when you handed him your tickets upon entering?
No.
Perhaps you didn't know that such a record of all persons entering the stalls of a London theatre is made and kept.
No.
This is what is known as a marking off plan for the Princess Theatre for the performance of April the 8th.
Lord, I object.
Mr. Dritton, I suppose you're prepared to prove these documents.
Yes, my lord. Later, with your lordship's permission.
Sir John?
Oh, very well.
Can you see certain pencil crossings through the numbers on that sheet?
Yes?
Look at row D. Which numbers are crossed off in pencil?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14...
Number 12 is left out, is it not?
Yes.
But you say that you occupied number 12.
Well, I don't know anything about these things. All I know is I was in the theatre that night.
Well, can you offer any explanation for the absence of the marking off of number 12?
Well, the man's only human. It's quite possible he made a mistake and forgot to mark it off.
Exactly. I expected you to say that. But it may surprise you, Sir Austin, as it may equally surprise the members of the jury, to learn that even that marking off sheet does not exhaust the records of attendance at the London Theatre. Thanks. Have a look at those tickets, Sir Austin. My lord, members of the jury, that bundle contains all the Saul's tickets handed to the attendant on April the 8th. Now, Sir Austin, take numbers D, 10, and 11 from that bundle. Are those numbers D, 10, and 11?
Yes.
Now, find D12.
Would you please...
Look for it, please. Look for D12. You can't find it? I'm asking you whether you can find it.
No.
You can't find it because it isn't there. And it isn't there because it was never used.
That's not true.
You have lied in the witness box.
No.
You did not use the third seat.
I did.
You used numbers 10 and 11. They were occupied by your wife.
Yes.
I suggest that now we have the truth. You did buy 3 tickets.
Yes.
You did go to the theatre with your wife and son.
Yes.
But is it not true that you left them there and went to the flat of Nora Selma?
That's not true. Oh, why can't I make you see that you're all wrong?
Because I'm not. It's quite clear that your wife and son were at the theatre.
Yes.
Then you were not.
I was, I tell you. I was in the theatre that night.
And how is it that only 2 of your tickets were
You
used?
keep on asking me the same thing, and I keep on telling you I don't know. How many more times must I tell you that I was in the theatre that night?
And yet you did not use seat number 12.
Well, it must have been some other seat.
But you told us you sat in that particular seat.
But it wasn't true. I sat next to my wife.
Then where did your son sit?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
You're giving evidence under oath, Sir Austin.
You're trying to make me say that I wasn't in the theatre that night. I won't say that to you. I won't say it. I was in the theatre that night.
You've said enough to convince any sane man that you've been lying in the witness
I'm
box.
telling the truth. I said next to my wife.
Then where did your son sit?
Can't convict that man! You can't convict that man! He didn't do it!
It wasn't him! I saw it, Livy boy! Livy boy! Livy boy, I tell you! I want to tell you did it! Order in court!
Don't listen to him! Don't listen to him!
Remove that man! It wasn't him! It wasn't him, I tell you!
Oh, I can't say this any longer. I'll say anything you like. I'll say anything you like.
What are you going to say, Sir Austin?
I'll say anything you like. I'll say that I killed her. I did it. 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 I did it.
Well, are you prepared to sign this, Mr. Ward?
Yes, sir.
Does it accurately embody what you of your own free will have just confessed?
Does it what body, sir?
Does it accurately contain statement of...
Oh, yes, sir, that's the truth.
And you're quite sure the young man's name was Anthony Howard?
Yes, sir.
Well, why didn't you tell us about this 3 months ago, instead of interrupting the trial this morning?
Well, Governor, what would you have done in me place? I was afraid you might lynch me for the crime.
Well, if you've been telling the truth here, you'll be treated with leniency.
Thank you, sir.
That is, of course, unless we find that you've committed murder or something like that.
Murder, sir? I never did anything like that. I'm a man of peace.
A peaceful forger, huh?
I never forged anything, sir.
But you confessed that you were getting ready to do so.
I'll never do it again, sir. So help me. It don't pay.
It don't, Mr. Ward. Here, sign this.
I don't half like doing this, sir. It's like signing a death warrant.
Come, Ward.
Oh, I've talked too much. I've got an awful thirst.
Well, Mr. Ward, I think you've earned yourself a drink.
Are the pubs open yet?
Not for half an hour yet.
Sergeant, have Mr. Ward stand by in case we need it. See that he's made comfortable. And get him a drink.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Of water.
I've let myself in for something, all right.
Ward's story is fantastic, but I'm inclined to believe it. What's his record?
3 months for petty larceny in 1928.
Ward's fingerprints, Colonel. This is positive proof that he was in the flat on the night of the murder.
Looks rather messy to me, Gordon. However, I'll take your word for it. Well, ask the warden to bring in Sir Austin, will you?
Yes, sir.
Located young Howard yet?
Not a trace of him.
But he won't get far.
Colonel Drake, what's happened? What did that man say?
You mean Ward, Sir Austin?
Yes, Ward.
Have you ever seen him before?
Well, no. But did he say who committed the crime?
He went further. He stated he heard and saw it committed.
Well, whom does he accuse? Please tell me that.
Not you, Sir Austin.
That's where he's wrong, Colonel. Because I did it.
I've always thought so, Sir Austin.
Yes, and you're right. I've been lying all the time in court to save my wife and my son. Now, you heard the Crown prove that I was not in the theatre that night. I tell you, I went to that woman's flat, and I killed her.
One moment, Sir Austin. Hello? Hello? Oh, yes. Certainly. Send them right in. Sir Austin, your son is here.
My son?
I must ask you to wait in the next room.
I refuse to leave this room as long as he's here. If Tony's come here with any fantastic statement, I'm entitled to hear what it is.
If you care to remain, you may do so. But if you'll take my advice, you'll let me deal with him.
Colonel Drayton! Tony! Father! Sylvia, why didn't you keep him away?
He wanted to come, Sir Austin. It's only right that he should.
Father, no one can keep me away another minute. Colonel, I think I ought to warn you that since my arrest, my boy has not been himself.
Are you Anthony Howard?
I am.
You wish to make a statement of your own free will?
I do. I know what it is, Colonel. He's obsessed with the idea that he killed Nora Selma. It isn't true. Colonel, my father is trying to shield me. No. He's trying to shield me now. I killed Nora Selma. No. There's my confession.
Father, I don't know what to say to you.
It's all right. All right, old boy. Where's your mother,
I don't know, Dad. I had to run away from her. She tried to stop me from doing this.
Mr. Howard, I see you say here, as you let go of your victim's throat, she fell in front of the couch. Are you quite sure of that?
Yes.
Now let me get this clear. Suppose this chair to be the couch. You say you left her lying dead on the floor in front of it.
Yes, that's right.
How did you strangle her?
What?
How did you do it?
Colonel, this is too ghastly.
Now please, this is really important.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to show me how you did it.
Where's all this leading us, Colonel? The boy's hysterical. He'd say anything. Why, he's never even been to her apartment. Surely you must realize the effect the last few weeks have had upon him.
Sit here, Mr. Ward.
Yes, sir.
Sir Austin, will you sit there? Thank you. Now, Ward, without regard to the feelings of anyone in this room, you'll repeat the story you dictated to me.
Colonel, you don't ask me to sit here and hear my own son.
Sir Austin, will you allow me
to
to conduct this investigation as I see fit?
But, Colonel, you must realize that I...
Sit down. Oh. Very well. Very definite reasons for this little gathering. Come in.
That's her husband.
Sit down, Ward. What did you say?
That's Nora's husband.
I beg your pardon. May I ask who this excitable young person is?
Have you never seen him before?
I've never seen him in all my life.
Well, Mr. Blake, I'm very glad we finally located you.
Well, thank you.
As the husband of the late Nora Selmer, you may be of great help to us.
I hope so.
Over here, Blake.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Robin, relieve Mr. Blake of his hat and stick.
Oh, that's quite all right. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Ward, when did you first meet Nora Selmer?
About 7 months ago, sir.
In what capacity?
We'd been friendly.
You mean you were lovers?
I used to visit her, sir.
How often?
Pretty often.
What did you do on the night of her death?
Well, she telephoned me that afternoon, sir, to come over and see her.
And did you go and see her?
Yes, sir.
For what purpose?
Well, every time we was together, sir, there was what you might call, canoodling.
Canoodling?
Yes, making love.
Oh. Yes, but was lovemaking the only object of your visits to her?
No, sir.
Well, go on.
Well, sir, she was planning a forgery, as you might say, sir. And I'm pretty handy with a pen. And all that afternoon she had me copying her signature 40 or 50 times. To see how good I was.
Oh, great, great. That one is perfect. Simply perfect. I swear it was my signature. Oh, you got it. You got it, you old rascal.
Oh, Ducky, Ducky, do I get my reward?
Now listen, in a few days, maybe tomorrow, I shall have a signature which I want you to copy, right? And I want you to practice it until you get it just as perfect as this.
Whose signature is it?
Never mind. But he has got plenty of money.
What's the scheme? Blackmail?
Oh, nothing so vulgar.
Well, what then?
You're going to write a check.
Me write a check? I haven't got a bank account.
It will be on somebody else's account.
Good heavens. You don't mean forge a check?
Wouldn't you like to forge a check?
Oh, Ducky, I'd do anything for you.
I thought you would.
But how are you going to get hold of the signature?
Oh, that's easy. His son is playing up to me, my dear.
Oh, you're a sly one. I'm jealous.
Oh, you needn't be. He's just a kid.
You won't let him make love to you.
How could I, when I've got you?
That's what I like to hear you say.
Of course, I have to put up with a bit of luck.
With me?
No, with him, silly.
But you don't love him.
Well, I don't love anyone.
Not even me.
I like you.
You bet you do.
Don't be so greedy.
But this is taking an awful chance.
What?
Forging a check.
Oh. Cold feet?
Oh, of course not, Ducky. But this is all new to me.
Well, it's better than petty larceny, isn't it?
Why bring that up?
Oh, Miss Nora Selma?
Yeah?
My name is Howard.
Howard?
My card.
Oh, would you please come in?
Thank you. Could I see you alone for a few minutes?
Well, I suppose it could be arranged.
Thanks.
Oh, this is Mr. Ward, my cousin. Sir Austin Howard.
How do you do?
I do. Shall I wait in the bedroom, Ducky?
Would you mind, Horace?
I know.
May I?
Thank you very much. I've been anxious to meet you, Miss Selma.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why?
I think you know my son.
Your son?
My son, Anthony.
Anthony. Anthony Howard. Oh, yes, I've met him. Nice boy.
Yes, he is nice, Miss Selma.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
How is your son these days?
Looking a little paler, don't you think?
Paler? Paler than what?
Than he should. Than he used to. I mean, late hours and lack of sleep. Oh, thank you. Don't agree with him.
He's keeping late hours?
Very.
Oh, too bad.
Yes. I don't want Tony to grow up ignorant of life, but I do think he's living far beyond his strength and his means.
But why don't you tell him so?
Well, I have mentioned it, but I'm rather anxious not to seem the mid-Victorian parent.
You don't strike me that way at all, Sir Austin.
Well, I'm not your parent, Miss Selma.
But I think you would make a very nice parent.
Yes. That is no doubt meant as a compliment, but, adventure no longer intrigues me.
Nor me for that matter.
Well, I'm glad of that. You see, there is a charming girl to whom my son is more or less engaged.
Oh?
And he seems to have gradually drifted away from her.
And how does that concern me?
Well, cherchez la femme. By a simple process of elimination, I selected you as his inamorata, shall we say? I trust I'm not mistaken.
Oh. And do you approve of me?
Come. How can I answer that?
Say whatever you like. You won't offend me?
Well, if you don't mind my saying so, I do think that Tony has been a little precocious in his choice of a lady friend.
Don't exactly know mean by that, Sir Austin.
Well, I mean, I hope he can live up to you. Personally, young lady, I can't. And I have to foot the bills.
Are you implying that Tony is providing for me?
Well, isn't he? At least, partially.
Certainly not. He never spent a penny on me. And would you mind leaving my house?
Your house?
Get out.
Oh, well, now, come. We mustn't lose our tempers.
Then don't insult me, please.
Oh, well, I apologize.
I hope so.
I apologize most profoundly, both for myself and my son. I'm disappointed in Tony, most disappointed. Paying court to a beautiful lady and never spending a penny on her. Dear. I shall have to take him to task.
Oh, forget it.
Oh, but I can't, my dear Miss Selma. Now, won't you let me remunerate you for the time and motherly care that you've devoted to him? Let me settle his account, so to speak.
Did you by any chance come here to buy me off?
Is that possible?
Certainly not. You see, Sir Austin, your son happens to love me.
Yes. How much do you love him?
Enough to marry him, if necessary.
I see. Well, of course, my dear Miss Selma, I suppose you have enough money tucked away to support the two of you?
Certainly. I'll support Tony if you decide to be the mid-Victorian parent and cut him off without a penny.
Well, I'm afraid in that case, I should be even early Victorian. Let me see, you put my hat and stick? Oh, yes.
Oh, Sir Austin.
Miss Selma.
How much do you feel that Tony really owes me?
Nothing.
But it would make you very happy if I made a sacrifice and gave him up?
Oh, very. Now, what is the sacrificial price?
£5,000? I think I'm worth at least that.
Do you? Well, to be quite frank, my dear Miss Selma, I think you're worth, 1,000.
Now, Sir Austin. Well, at least 3.
Well, now, if you were for myself, Miss Selma, yes. Yes, but for my very young son, oh, no. 1.
All right.
All right. S-E-L-M...
E-R.
Huh?
E-R.
Oh, thank you. 1,000 pounds sterling.
It is too bad, Sir Austin, that your son is not you. For more reasons than one.
Yes. Possibly 3.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure, Miss Selma. I should expect you to break with my son immediately. You'll choose your own methods, of course. If you don't, well then... Oh, but I feel quite sure that you have a large amount of good common sense.
Thank you.
That's right. Thanks.
Oh, do drop in for a cup of tea sometime.
Oh, yes. And you must come and see us, too. Good afternoon.
That's the gigolo! Everywhere I go. Well, Ducky?
I got it.
Strike me pink. 1,000 quid from the boy's papa.
And Horace, darling, you're going to make that thing that you're worth a lot more than £1,000. Won't you?
Oh, Ducky.
Now, Mr. Ward, you say you were in the bedroom from the time Sir Austin left until the arrival of his son, 2 hours later.
Yes, sir.
What were you doing during that time?
Sir?
What were you doing? From 6:15 until 8 o'clock.
Beg pardon, sir?
What's the matter? Speak up. Oh, canoodling?
Yes, sir.
The whole time?
Yes, sir.
Well, I must say. However, I see you describe here the unexpected arrival of Mr. Blake at his wife's flat.
Yes, sir.
Well, am I in this now?
Yes.
This is a general investigation. Sergeant, I'm sure Mr. Blake would like you to relieve him of his hat and stick.
Oh, well, please, don't bother.
Now, Mr. Howard, you say you found this gentleman in the bedroom rifling the lady's purse.
Yes, sir.
May I ask a question? Pray do.
This person has said that he was in the lady's bedroom. Well, now, how could I have entered the bedroom without this person seeing me?
I did see him, sir. I was hiding in a clothes closet, and there was 4 holes in a panel for ventilation. I seen him plain.
Absurd. Why, I hadn't seen Nora for some time. As a matter of fact, we'd broken off.
Yes, we know. You even married again about 4 months ago, didn't you?
Yes, I believe so.
In that case, Mr. Blake, you'll admit that you're a bigamist.
Not at all. Nora's dead body was found on the couch, and that made me a monogamist.
But you were a bigamist up to the time your wife's body was found on the couch.
On the couch? Colonel, could I...
Pardon. Tony,
Yes, Father.
you said you left a woman's body on the floor in front of the couch.
Yes, that's right, Father.
Well, then, Colonel, how
Sir
could...
Austin, Mr. Ward has already explained the great deal. Suppose we let Mr. Ward continue his interesting story.
Well, a little while after Nora let young Mr. Howard in, it sounded like as if they was having a bit of a row. And I distinctly heard young Mr. Howard say, "You see, I could have done it. I could have killed you." Ducky. Ducky. Nora, what's happened? He's murdered her.
I'm going to get out of here. What are you doing down there?
What am I doing? I was nearly murdered. That's all.
Murdered?
He tried to kill me.
Who? Young Howard?
Nearly had me choked to death.
Serves you right. Associating with a little fool like that.
Mind your own business.
Ordering me out of the house, indeed. I had a good mind to blow his brains out. I could have done it, my dear.
Put that gun away.
Don't worry. It'd be silly to shoot you. So Howard is to get to the safer way.
You thief. What did you come back for anyway?
I told you on the phone I had to have cash.
No, you won't find a penny.
Didn't he, give you any tonight?
He gave me a check, but I tore it up.
You tore up a check?
Let go. I've taken all the bullying I'm going to from you.
Where's that check?
In the fireplace. Here is part of it.
Where's the other half?
I don't know.
You're lying.
If only you knew how idiotic you looked handing around for money.
Stop laughing.
I can't.
Stop laughing, I say.
Take your hands off me.
Are you going to come across?
No, I'm not. Why don't you go to your other woman?
What other woman?
The one you married the other day.
Who told you that?
Never mind who told me. I know.
You know, huh?
Yes, I know. And I'll give you just 10 minutes start, you dirty swine, before I call the police.
Will you?
Yes, I will. And you better hurry, or you'll be doing a long stretch for bigamy. I'm through with you, through with people like you. I realized this afternoon that it's just as easy to get the important one.
So you're ditching me, huh?
Yes, and it's too bad, isn't it?
Too bad. Too bad the boy didn't do a better job. I'll do it right.
All the time I was there behind the curtain, sir. I know I ought to broke in, but I was afraid. I haven't slept in peace since.
Mr. Blake, have you anything to say?
Certainly not.
What could I possibly have to say to a dirty, sniffling lump?
My word, he nearly got me.
We were watching him, Ward. Take him out. Sorry, I missed. Sir Austin, you've behaved splendid. Oh, no, Colonel. I will put up as largely responsible. Now, if I hadn't gone to that poor girl behind my boy's back, this thing might never have happened.
Well, Father, if only I could have kept you out of
Tony,
this.
old boy, why, self-sacrifice is one of the greatest luxuries in life. For somebody whom you love very deeply. Well, my dear boy, it becomes a positive orgy. Bless your heart. Here, you kiss him.